Well, Joan Milliman is with us right now, and she's going to be talking about the Roberts Rules Study Group. Primarily what we're talking about today is a summary of Roberts Rules of Order. Nice to see you.
Nice to see you too, Ken.
We've been talking about different procedures and all for quite a while, and this is sort of a look back, am I right? Kind of a summary of certain appeals, parliamentary role, all kinds of things, right?
Now, this is pretty much how rules can be enforced or suspended this time, so it's a little different. And I guess the first thing we're going to talk about
is a point of order, right? How they're enforced.
Now, when a member of the group sees that somebody's violating the rules, whatever they might be, either parliamentary or your own rules for the group, you can always raise a point of order. Mm-hmm. And you simply have to raise your hand and say, point of order. You can interrupt and say that. And the chair has to recognize you. Everything stops.
Right.
And he says, what is your point of order? So then you say what it is you're concerned about, how the rules are broken, and sit down. And you don't have to have a second. So the chair then rules whether this point of order is well taken, and he agrees with this, or whether it's not well taken. Mm-hmm. And in both cases, if it's not well taken, he has to give his reasons for not taking it.
Okay.
And then if he doesn't take it, then you go on, unless someone makes an appeal.
So you can appeal a point of order?
Yeah, because it's the group as a whole that really, not the chair, who's the final authority. The group is the final authority, whether the rules have been violated or not.
Interesting.
So, yeah.
So yeah, you list on the appeal the group as a whole, and then disagree with ruling by the chair. So it can become a whole other point of contention, right?
Oh yeah, and so again, if someone disagrees with what the chair has said,
right,
they simply say, "I appeal from the decision of the chair." And again, the chair has to recognize you. Yeah. And also, this one requires a second. So someone besides yourself has to agree that this, whatever the chair has said, is not quite right. Okay. So, usually, an appeal of this kind can be debated by the members, and but unlike other motions, each member can speak only once. And the chair may speak in debate twice. The first time he speaks giving his reasons, and the second time at the end of the debate, again, he does the closing, but it isn't just to close the debate, it's to, again, give his reasons for this. Okay. And there are other times when you can't actually debate, and when an appeal is made. And that is if there's a transgression of the rules of speaking. If someone is really out of order and just going crazy. Or if it's a priority of business, if the order of business is not being followed, then there's no debate. Okay. And that's the kind of thing. So then everybody has to vote on whether to take the appeal or not. So the chair says, shall the decision of the chair be sustained? Notice that it's not the chair to be sustained, but the decision of the chair. Okay. And so a positive vote will give him his ruling. But if it takes a majority vote to overturn the chair's ruling, but it has to be in the negative.
What if there is a point of order made, and the chair agrees with it, saying, I agree with you.
Right.
Now,
then you just go on from there. You take the point of order, and you do what is suggested, and continue the meeting.
If the chair agrees with the member that made the point of order, can there still be an appeal saying, wait a second here, I think the chair is wrong in agreeing with this?
There can.
Okay.
And then you'd vote on it. Okay. Again.
And if there's no appeal, you just go on.
Correct.
Okay.
Right.
All right, so now we're moving on to suspend the rules.
Right.
So do something forbidden by the rules, okay.
That sounds mighty suspicious. But for example, you might want to allow a member to continue speaking more than the allotted time.
Okay.
Or you might want a motion that would otherwise not be in order to be considered at this time. Or a report to come up that's not on the agenda in that order to come up. And we don't always go to this suspension of the rules. We ask if we can't do this at this time and get permission, but we really are suspending the rules at that time. When they call for this, it has to be seconded, and it cannot be amended or debated. It just has to be voted on. It requires a 2/3 vote. Somebody says, I move to resuspend the rules, to give, they'll say to give the speaker more minutes.
Okay.
And they're not saying what rule they're suspending. They're just saying, this is what we're going to do.
All right, next is parliamentary inquiry.
Yeah. And sometimes people have questions as to what is happening, you know, what's going on. You want to know, is it appropriate to call for the question at this time? And you can ask. You don't have to do it. You just ask, is it appropriate at this time? Or you might say, is it in order to refer this motion to a committee at this time? And the chair will answer. And that's what you wait for, to hear his answers. The chair's answers aren't rulings, and consequently there's no appeal.
Yeah, okay. And now parliamentarian's role. And is there always a parliamentarian on a board or on a committee? If one is available, I would imagine, right?
Well, it's nice to have them.
Yeah.
But they're not always there.
Right.
And the parliamentarian's role is simply to advise the presiding officer regarding parliamentary procedures. And if there isn't a professional parliamentarian that's been hired to be part of their group, the president or the person in charge can appoint somebody.
Okay.
But if you're appointed, you must remember that you're now going to be an advisor. And so you cannot do certain things anymore. You have to act like the chairman and maintain a position of impartiality. And you can't make motions. You cannot participate in debate or vote on any question except in the case of a ballot vote. So if you were appointed parliamentarian as a member of the, say, the board, if you want to vote on something, you better not accept that position.
Right.
And if a member feels that he cannot do that they have to stop. But unlike the presiding officer, the parliamentarian cannot temporarily relinquish his position in order to vote. See, the chair can stand away from his chair and give it to the vice president.
Right, right.
But parliamentarian can't do that.
Okay.
You're stuck.
All right.
And you're also supposed to be inconspicuous if you're the advisor. You sit next to the chair and you quietly confer with them. You don't yell out. That's, you know. So you just try to give them a heads up to do the best.
All right. Your next meeting is coming up. It's on Saturday, November 12th. That is not this Saturday. That's a week from this Saturday. It's at the Towers at 9 o'clock. If you would like to head over there, more information about the Roberts Rules Study Club, call Mike Straziuso at 830-8717.
You know, I'm not sure that it's at the Towers, Ken.
Okay.
Call Mike for information because I think we're doing Garden Grove twice in a row.
Oh, you are? Okay, so that may change.
That may change. Call Mike for information.
All right, very good. Nice to see you, Joan, as always. You take care. Roberts Rules Study Club. Find out more about it, and maybe you'll become a parliamentarian. Who knows? All right, we'll be right back.